Welcome to AEW Unrestricted. It is the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling, and we are presented by our good friends at Upper Deck. The 2025 AEW SP Game Use set is available now, and is the first ever. Yeah, look at it. It's the first ever AEW release packed with autographs, tech cards, real match-used relics pulled straight from the ring, including championship gear, event banners, even a one-of-one fork from All In Texas, the one that Hangman pulled out of his boot. Yeah, we've got that for you, too. Grab your box at local hobby stores. Hit upperdeck.com. Find a store near you. I am Aubrey Edwards, along with my co-host, Will Washington, and we're just going to get right to it because we've got an amazing guest today. I'm very, very excited to welcome the recently, I guess now you have free time, RJ City. How you doing, buddy?
I know
Amazing. Go ahead,
you're unemployed now. Like,
Do you still work here?
I'm looking for gigs. If you need me to fill in, you let me know. If anyone needs any help, I just loiter the halls.
Speaking of gigs, RJ City coming very, very soon live in Chicago on Friday, December 26th at the Lincoln Lodge. You guys are
sold out. You don't need to plug. It's sold out already.
Hey,
We're good.
You know what?
We're fine. Stand down.
You might open the upper deck. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know how that's what Kirk always tells me whenever I talk about tickets.
Well, first of all, I have before we get into that, I do have questions because I do open trading cards and AEW cards on my own YouTube, and I've noticed that I've gotten so much better at opening the packs. Will, do you find the same? Are you a smooth ripper?
I have a complete skill to this. Are you kidding me? Like at this point, pulling back the curtain a little bit, I sometimes like pre-look, but then I have got to a point of where I don't like rip them too much to where I can like put them back together and it looks like a solidly closed pack.
Yep.
This is a worked pack is what you're saying?
It's all work, brother.
9 times out of 10. But the cool thing is, because it's like, we want to make sure that we're showing off the best of what Upper Deck has to offer.
Right.
So,
if there's an Alex Abrahantes card, you would just throw it out and then move on. Is that what you're saying? My other question is, and I've not done this because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Do you read the women's weights?
They list them? I didn't even look.
They list them. They do. I skip over them. I can't do it. It feels bad.
That's quality. That's fucking awesome.
I don't want to know how much you weigh, Aubrey.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the men's weights aren't right either.
Right. But wrong or right, I don't want to know. I feel like I'm working at a carnival. I don't need it. You can also tell, by the way,
more than you already do. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. If I may continue to shoot on the Upper Deck people, because I know they sponsor this fine program.
Hey,
sometimes you get a couple packs, the guy writing them clearly ran out of shit to say. And sometimes I'll open a pack and 3 cards have formidable written on it. And I went, this day, he just gave up. It's all right.
You could also tell the day that they just went to Wikipedia to confirm something, rather than maybe asking the source, as evident by my card that says I was born in Seattle, Washington. And I'm like, interesting.
I mean, look, I wouldn't. Yeah, there are spots. I would not knock the cards. I have found a typo on one, but beyond that. They're great. Like, that's every reason to collect to find this kind of stuff because, like, it was such a rare thing that I was like, and this typo, this one particular typo, and again, I'm gonna knock the whole company because this is a typo that honestly is so commonly made that we made this typo when we trademarked it, and then we issued a new trademark for the updated version. And so, like, it is one of those, it's a very commonly misspelled word. But the fact was we did it too, and then fixed it.
City was spelled Shitty.
I think that's how Eddie Kingston spells it.
Yes. I will say not only is all of my bios, I'm on 2 cards so far. Both of my bios I find derogatory. And they also put my hometown, it's too specific for me. It's supposed to say Toronto. Don't say like the specific area. I don't need that. So these are my issues with Upper Deck. So I'm done. I'm good. You can.
I feel like the next pack that Upper Deck releases, they're going to take all these notes, go back, change them all, which means all of the cards we're currently talking about will definitely be worth more. So you should definitely pick them up at a local hobby store near you.
Now, can I let's announce this on here because this is apropos. And I don't know when this is coming out because I don't know how cards work.
This week.
I have, I'm saying I don't know this thing I'm going to announce.
Oh.
I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm going to preemptively say it because I've already worked on it and then they're locked in. I've been told there will be a Hey EW insert.
Why?
Because I asked really nicely and they felt bad for me because I'm unemployed. So I have curated them and I have written the backs because I was so bothered by that formidable guy that I said I need to do this by myself. So if they never come out, know that they were planned and they heard this episode and decided not to do it.
They did it out of spite. They held it back.
Yes.
Well, speaking of spite, let's talk about your comedy show that's happening coming up and sold out.
Yes.
Because for those of that people that did buy tickets, they're in for a treat. You've got an incredible group of guests. It's you and Colt Cabana are hosting, along with Harley Cameron, Roderick Strong, Truth Magnum, Turbo Floyd, and Marina Shafir.
Yes.
So what is All Elite Comedy and how does this show come together?
Great question. It was all Colt's idea to begin with, and we've done it in Chicago. This will be the fourth time. We did it in St. Louis before too. We like to try to do it the night before pay-per-views. Mm-hmm. Colt and I come up and usually mock each other until we can't stand it anymore. Air some grievances about AEW and Upper Deck, I guess. We might as well include them in that. Then we do a bit of stand-up. Harley usually has some bizarre act she's working on. It's usually a puppet or a song. She has
Maybe
something. It's often both talented and grotesque. So you go, oh my, if only she could use her powers for good, and then people don't have, in the past we had Tony Schiavone do stand up, which was delightful and also filthy. And then we'll interview people. If they don't have an act, we'll interview them. So I guess if Marina's not going to tap dance, we'll interview her. And then at the end, we usually play AEW Match Game.
AEW Match Game. What is that?
Yeah. Well, it's just like Match Game, except that you've never played Match Game before, Aubrey?
No. And every time I get asked to do a show, I turn it down because I'm scared.
Hey, no, you did do the first improv show I did.
That's true. I did.
And you did a great job.
So I was in the very end with Johnny TV and Colt Cabana, who are two trained professional actors.
Yeah,
and I've never been more
really.
terrified in my life. Oh, it was terrible. I hated it.
You did great.
Yes, thanks.
So Match Game, the 70s show Match Game. You write a thing and it has a blank, and then the audience member has to fill in the blank, and if it matches a celebrity, you get a point.
Oh, there you go.
That's the way it works. But sometimes the questions will be like, AEW has decided to have their first all-women's pay-per-view. It's going to be called AEW blank. And there'll be a world of opportunities. There you go. See, that would be it. There you go. Very nice. And then if some perverted wrestler on the panel says menstruation, you would get a point.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Because, that's what the joke we were making about blood and guts anyway, so.
Right. Who needs guts?
I want to talk about this lineup, okay? Because how, there's a couple that make sense, right? But then I do have to ask, how, when putting this together, do you come up with the lineup that is the Outrunners, Harley Cameron, Roddy Strong, Marina Shafir? Like, what exactly made you look at this and go, okay, this is what's going to be the best possible lineup for Chicago this year?
Right. So we start from a pool of who's going to be in Chicago on December 26th, which really narrowed it down. I think you need a few people that people go, this person is funny. They're reliably funny. I can trust this person. And then you need at least two people where you go, how the fuck is this going to work?
Sure.
So I would, dare I say, Roddy and Marina are those two people. I don't know why they agreed to do it. When I'm surprised they say yes, they're going to be a good guest.
Oh, yeah. So, in my mind, the list is actually I don't know how Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum are going to work because they'll just flex the whole time and maybe smoke some cigarettes.
Right.
But Roddy and Marina are actually pretty funny people. So this all makes all the sense in the world.
They're
But people don't necessarily
fascinating.
know that. So like that's the thing that I think makes it appealing is that you would look at this and go, Marina Shafir, how the hell is this going to work? And then all of a
Yes.
sudden, you either get the side of Marina that not a whole lot of people know, or you get the side that everybody does know, and it makes it even funnier. So like there's
Right.
there's various ways you can do that.
Yes, maybe she'll do. Her one talent is smoking a joint while doing neck exercises.
I've seen her do it.
Yes, it's an obscenely popular video on Twitter. That was a new fetish unlocked for a lot of people.
Well, speaking of fetishes, we got to go to break. We got more to talk about with RJ City coming up on AEW Unrestricted. But first, we got to get a word in from our sponsors. Stay tuned here with Will and Aubrey.
AEW Unrestricted. It's Will Washington. It's Aubrey Edwards, and we're here with our guest, RJ City.
Yay.
RJ, we still have plenty to ask you here because it's a
I
rare
have the time.
Well, and the fun thing is, like, it's true that you guys are both overseas at the moment, and I'm back here in still good old Denver, Colorado.
Case.
Yeah, I didn't take this trip. I'll see you guys at Hammerstein. But before then, so okay, let's talk about Hey EW. Because recently we saw the final episode, and there's a lot of heartbreak. Like literally, I looked out in the where were we? We were in Atlanta last week, and I looked out and I saw a YRJY sign, and and it was like this broke a lot of hearts. This was like the thing so many people looked forward to on their Sunday morning, and you just took it away from them. What led to the decision to end Hey EW?
Why?
I don't know if I took it away from them. I think I just ran it into the ground and said, well, I think we've reached our destination. We did 4 years. We did 165 episodes. As I said in the episode, we were down to the nose and the assholes. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's very hard to get guests.
Oh, yeah.
The line you said, we're down to nose in the assholes. I've never heard a truer line in my life.
Yes. And then, I'm like, I don't know if I want to have people on again. Like, I don't know if I want to do a second Eddie Kingston one. And the people are like, it's not as good as the first. And like, it was a...
Did you start to reach a point where you had to like tell new signees to AEW that it was like, or like hint that it's a requirement? And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, you got to go through. We're like the car wash. you guys, and this was like, you have to go through this initiation to be considered part of the group.
It's the
Right. But I also, as I've gotten older, I realize like it's good to be sad about things, right? It's good to end something and be sad about it and go, that was good, and end it while it was good. And also, I don't...
Sure, we all saw Inside Out.
Thank you. And also, once I got the Tony Shalhoub Breaking Bread sponsorship from CNN, I thought, it's time to bring this puppy home. It's not going to get better than this for me. So, and I used to have this is very obscure, even by my taste. I used to have a web series in Canada on CBC where I made parody crafts. And it was called The Cynical Crafter. And it was very big with middle-aged women who stayed home during the day.
You don't say.
And I never got a last episode. And it just ended. And then people are like, when are you going to do another one? And then we did and I realized doing this, I'm going to need to have a last episode. So a lot of people put a lot of editing work into that episode. We had lighting changes, right? Eddie Kingston did great. And I'm surprised that Tony Khan is available and Mercedes Moné strolled in at the last second.
Right at the last second. I'm kind of curious because there was so many funny moments throughout this. What is the one moment that sticks out in your mind the most of your 165 episodes?
Oh my. I mean, I think to me, the fact that, and we only found out about it months later, Arn Anderson thought it was going to be a real interview. No one, I think we had only done 10 episodes so far. No one had prepared him. Good, willing company guy. Hey, we need you to do an interview. No problem. Doesn't ask any questions. And that is like, some of them feel like a blind date. And it's two people figuring each other out in real time. I'm armed with these things. He has no idea. And then we meet in the middle. And he said, when we wrapped, he was like, I thought this was going to be CNN or some shit. And I felt so bad. I felt bad, but I felt good at the end. That one always sticks in my head. The other one where I'm like, the only time I feel like it was going to be good while I was doing it is when the Rock and Roll Express were on.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. That was so far beyond what I had expected at all.
Did you have any that where you had expectations? Well, I mean,
yes.
The beauty of it is that even with a show like AEW, even when it didn't work out the way you like anticipated, sometimes that made it like 10 times better in the end.
Yes.
But then, like, were there ones where you didn't expect it to take off the way it did? Like, you know, I remember, like, right after I started, it was one of the most recent ones you had done was Sheeta, and like, that doesn't work for me, brother. Was like everywhere on social media at that point. Was that one where you anticipated that one like being as fondly looked at as it was?
No, that was one that I was very careful about. The one thing I'm proud of is like how many people we had on the show where English is not their first language, or some people who just straight up don't speak English at all, and we figured out ways around it. I will also say I always try to be very careful with people like that because I talk very fast, I say very weird things, and I don't want stuff to be lost. I want them to meet me on the same level. And then Sheeta just blew me away. She was so funny and then sang, and it was so funny to have a genuinely tender moment on the show where everyone is moved by her singing. And it was so disarming because I couldn't even find a joke about it. I was just like, And then, that doesn't work for me, brother. There's quite a few memes that ended up, but that would be, I would say, the number one. I would say Will is like a curator of wrestling memes.
Yeah, that one I think is probably the one that took off the most because at that point, I see that in response to like literally anything. Like fans will take "That Doesn't Work for Me, Brother" from that exact episode, and you'll see it in just various replies. I would say like that's the one that really took off. I'm trying to think of another that really did because like at the moment, like some of the moments in the bits are what's really sticking with me. Like I remember when you interviewed Gates of Agony, and like the whole interview with Toa was it took almost like I instantly got it, and I showed it to somebody and I was like, do you understand what's happening here? And it took him almost like half the episode to realize, oh, is he not talking about Toa Leona? Like he's talking about Tay Leone the whole episode.
Yes. I'm happy that, by and large, obviously I have my questions and the research is real, even though it comes out very backwards, but I never knew what people were going to say. I never asked them anything, nor did they ever really ask for the questions. They certainly could have. I don't know why they didn't, but it was a really nice place to see people talk who don't really get a chance to talk at that kind of length, at that kind of speed. And then they do like a really good job. I mean, obviously there's people like Dalton and Mark Briscoe where you're like, well, this is going to be easy.
Yeah, they're like America's sweethearts.
Yes, but then there's other people like Jamie Hayter, who I'd never seen that like side of her before. And she was just down for the filth from the beginning. Or, I mean, the most surreal one I think was Minoru Suzuki. Easily. Because I'm a big fan of him. And then that's the fucked up thing about the Japanese wrestlers. They'll be the most legit part, and they'll also do the wackiest thing you can think of.
Yep.
So he was game for the whole thing. And Tanahashi was very funny because, like, he doesn't. We didn't deserve him.
We don't.
There's no way he should be sitting in that chair. All those people seem to stick out to me. But then 165 episodes, there's a bunch where I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So I know your intention for the show is sort of to make it like intentionally poorly edited. So like Sanjay laughing
Yes.
in the background was just always kept in. Is there any sort of like the vision you had for the show that completely changed into what it turned into, or is this sort of kind of what you always had in mind?
No, I only thought I was going to do like 10 episodes. I thought, how long could this possibly last? Right. And I got people that I knew, Danhausen, Eddie Kingston. Then, Tony Khan did the second episode, which is a really nice, sick endorsement of this, which I think helped a lot. And then Sanjay did not start laughing until the Bryan Danielson episode, when I asked him if he had ever fucked a vegetable before.
Which I think the answer was long story, short story, no. Long story.
We don't have the time. And I remember getting mad. I did not like laughing. It threw me off. I like to have this weird moment. I enjoy this silence. I enjoy watching someone like Brian process something. And then I would often put Sanjay's seat further and further behind the camera. The guy likes to laugh, so I had to remedy that situation somewhat.
Did you ever have
the only time he laughs in a day?
Probably. That was a good release for him, I think. Yes.
Did you ever have any of those moments where you could tell like a talent was almost dreading doing it, and yet you could, and you almost feel like you can get more material out of that, because it's almost like they're going to come into this, they're probably going to attempt to bury the whole thing, and in doing that, we're going to get better material.
Yeah. Taz, Hurt Syndicate.
That was the one I was going to ask about.
Yeah. I will also say, I don't know what was told to them when they did it, but you tell people, oh, it's a comedy interview, this guy's an idiot, and they're probably like, oh, well, whatever, this guy's just going to stand on his head. Once people realize that the research is real, I think I don't know if they loosen up a bit, but they realize this is like, they invest in it a little more. Like, I'm not just here to make jokes about suits.
Well, like I said, that sometimes makes for better material, because they're coming into it in a way where like you almost don't want them in on the bit. You want them to almost resist the bit, and that makes it better for the viewer, because then it's like, okay, here's this idiot RJ City, and here's this like very serious act, and here he is almost trying to crack this very serious act, and they're not cracking, and it's even better because of it.
Yeah, I also think ultimately there were still things I wanted to genuinely know about. So there's still an opportunity. I do want to know why MVP listens to Steely Dan. I think that is a very valid question that deserved an explanation. And I mean, the best part is, I will say my habit was to state the obvious in the question, so they couldn't answer with the obvious. And like, that's how I was able to find out that Jim Ross has heat with Danny DeVito, which I think is like an important moment in the show's history. If I could go back and go, that's when this show became all it could be, is when I'm an idiot walking in blind, ranting about Man on the Moon, and I touched on a nerve that he had about Danny DeVito that he could not contain remotely. The second I said Man on the Moon, he just said, Danny DeVito, that little bastard. And the air in the room changed. And I felt that. Like, the chemistry was now different. And this man was out to get Danny DeVito. And like, that is fantastic. I also want to say, by the way, it's time I come clean and take responsibility for the Bow Wow fiasco.
That was your fault?
Because Swerve called him out on Hey.
Right? Yeah. I remember that.
Clipped it, and they tagged him, and I guess Bow Wow was just lying in bed Sunday morning, scrolling Twitter, and he answered, and then it blew up into this whole thing. I mean, almost blew up into this whole thing, and then immediately fizzled when he posted a low-quality promo from his phone. which is a shame. But no, I want to take responsibility. That's when I forget about. Like, oh, that turned into a thing.
Yeah, this has been such a really great interview. We got to take one more break here on AEW Unrestricted, but we've got more with RJ City when this continues.
AEW Unrestricted, Aubrey, Will, RJ City. We're originally going to talk about RJ's show coming up with him and Colt Cabana live in Chicago. All Elite Comedy, but it's sold out, so hopefully you can get some tickets on the secondary market. They're probably going for a whole lot of money because who knows what else RJ does with his time now that AEW's dead. But I do hear that you're involved with the upcoming Pee-wee Herman documentary.
Okay, no, but I was friends with him for like 15 years.
So you're involved in his success.
He was
to be
involved
fair,
in
his success was like 40 years ago. So like,
well, RJ's like 70, so
right. I will say he was involved in my success.
There we go.
There we go.
That I can say. Yes.
All right. Well, the documentary is out now, and you have obviously openly cited Pee-wee Herman as a major influence. What about that character kind of spoke with you creatively?
Well, I mean, he was very much in his own world. And he took that out with him into the world, the same way that wrestling personalities do. I don't think, especially at the time in the 80s, there was no difference between him and a Randy Savage. When he walked down the street, he was Pee-wee. And when Randy Savage walked down the street, he was, the Macho Man. And he was fascinated by wrestling. For a while, he was allegedly, he was gonna help teach acting classes at FCW at the time. Because
so we're talking
that's
like 2010-ish?
Yeah, probably even before that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's because Freddie Prinze Jr. was writing
right. He was
there at the time.
Yeah, he was like 07 to like 2010-ish.
Right. So during that, I think that was one of those things. So he was watching stuff. He was like involved. Obviously, he guest hosted and all that weird stuff. And then I met him at his Broadway show, and we unsurprisingly just hit it off about weird things. He was great. He was the best. But he was also, very insane. But I mean that in a good way. Very particular about what he wanted to do work-wise. And when I had my much maligned failed tryout, if you want to wrap, which was at FCW at the time, if you want to wrap your head around how far we've all come, it was me, Mercedes, Dax, Jimmy Jacobs, yes, Elias, Matt Taven. There were quite a few other people. But anyway, after that, he really, like, I thought I was going to get it, didn't get it. He called me and he spent an hour on the phone explaining to me, like, he was once a guy who didn't get Saturday Night Live. He got turned down for Gilbert Gottfried, and it made no sense in his head because he thought he was so much more talented. He does all characters. Gilbert kind of does his one thing. And he took all that anger and frustration and really put it all into Pee-wee. So, had he not been there in my life going, just take this and make something else with it, who knows what I would be doing now. I mean, who knows what I'm doing now anyway, but who knows what I would be doing now if it hadn't been for him. And then, of course, obviously, when David Arquette got involved in my life, he was friends with Paul. And then we did that one giant episode it's basically an AEW themed episode of Family Feud. Mm-hmm. It's David, me, Jack Perry, Dalton Castle, and Peter Avalon.
Yep.
Against Paul Reubens, Joe Manganiello, who, quite frankly, was acting like he was too cool for the show, and I didn't appreciate his attitude. Asapatha Murkison, who was Reba the Mail Lady, Jack A. Harry, and then Freddie Prinze was supposed to do it, but he backed out at the last minute, so then they got Drew Carey, I guess, who was just across the hall doing Price is Right. But I wasn't even in AEW at the time. And I remember them being cool about posting and being nice. And I was like, well, that's a nice thing, not having any idea that I would be working here. And Jack, to tell you how nuts he is, had never seen Family Feud before and just decided to play it cold. And my mind was blown. I thought it was very reckless.
I can see that.
Perry.
Like that, I was gonna say that actually sounds about right in the sense of like that's kind of that is very Jack in the sense of like not being all that aware of like mainstream cultural things, but he's also just like Jack Perry, and you just kind of expect him to be. But then you're like, actually, why would you be?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
He's too busy putting snake heads into handles of blades.
Right.
Nah, you know what? Sorry, your father's Luke Perry. You can fucking watch Family Feud. I think that's I think it was reckless. I think it was irresponsible. And it's one of the few things I'm proud of. If you watch That Fast Money, I put up numbers, okay? Because my partner was David, and I knew I had no hope, so it was all me, and I was the only guy who I came to work.
Hey, there's always one part of a tag team that carries everybody.
He was such a Genetti in That Fast Money. I cannot tell you.
So,
right.
I kind of want to take a step back and think about, we were just talking about the tryout. And did you ever, of course the answer is no, but like, could you have ever pictured the role that you serve in professional wrestling right now is almost like a role you could not describe to anybody. For example, if you were to stop a stranger on the street, and I don't know why you would stop somebody and tell them what you do, but if you were to stop a stranger on the street and describe exactly what it is you do, and like the first thing you would say is like, oh, I work in professional wrestling, right? And then they'd be like, oh, you're a professional wrestler. And you go, well,
no,
not at the moment. And you're like, well, I serve more of a comedic role in professional wrestling, and I'm also like a creative in professional wrestling. And like, so how would, I suppose, we'll say FCW tryout you kind of take yourself back there for a minute, put yourself in that mindset. If you were to describe to that version of RJ City what 2025's RJ's career and trajectory and everything was going to look like, how would he feel about that?
So it's weird because I see a very frustrated person who's doing stuff that people like, but also does not fit anywhere. Anywhere. I have to clearly be in my own sandbox for any of this to make sense, because getting Hay, as a character, or just getting it on an actual wrestling show, it makes no sense. I would say like adding up all the frustration, and that was the beginning of a long period of frustration and trying stuff that didn't work, and people going, that's great, but we don't have a spot. We don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I feel like the only way I was able to succeed would be to do whatever it is I'm doing now. There seems to be no other way. And it feels like, what's his job? I don't know. It's whatever he does. That stuff he does. That's kind of it. Otherwise, I cannot imagine myself being in the business, if not in a very sad way, which is not impossible. There's plenty of sad wrestlers, but it was a lot of doing that and not really getting anywhere. So I'm very grateful for AEW and Tony Khan never giving me one note on AEW, which means I either have freedom or he doesn't watch it. But maybe both. Because I've said a lot of weird shit on the show. Where I go, is anyone going to check this?
I'm sure Chris Peck has.
I think he's just written it off as that's that guy's. All the views and opinions expressed in AEW are the sole responsibility of one person.
But then you always get those moments where because I've watched it happen. You get those moments where you're surprised, right? Where like all of a sudden Tony will bring up something that happened on AEW, and you're like, oh shit, he was watching. Yes, he brought up something about I think Mike Bailey and the pronouns argument I had, and I was like, oh, or Mark Davis and how he reaches the bear community. But I will say, and there's a lot more truth in the final episode that I know everything's wrapped in a joke, but he did say to me, the reason you do not have a graphic is so I don't have to be liable for the things that happen to you on AEW.
Yes. That's pretty succinctly.
What are you going to say at that? Right. And now that the show's done, would have been nice to get one. I'm not getting one. I'm not getting
No,
one.
at this point you can.
Right? This is my lot in life.
Now it's a bit. Like, at this point, you can't, like, walk away from it.
No,
Right.
no, I'm stuck in it. What the story of my life, stuck in a bit.
Right.
And now I just have to live it. I will say, I did enjoy the ref one, by the way.
It was very fun. I don't know if we could share the little tidbit. Like, I got a clue into your first question you were going to ask.
Yes, I was discretionary in if I'm going to touch on someone's race or sexuality, I would at least give them a heads up.
Right. So he gave me a heads up, but did not give the other 6 a heads up. So when that interview came out, the first thing I did was watch Stefan's face, which is my favorite part of that whole episode. Just, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, it was nice to see you guys together.
It was. We're rarely ever together, even on the same show. It's like only pay-per-views.
And also, so another example of asking a dumb question and then getting a stupider answer. Rick Knox's rant on the movie The Ref, the Dennis Leary, was insane. I didn't need an answer from you. Why do you have an opinion on this?
He's a very passionate
Incredible. He said 2 words to me in 4 years, and then
He's
just a Dennis Leary.
He's a lot like a Mox, where he doesn't say anything at all, but then you touch on that one thing he's thinking of, and the guy just goes off.
That's, another blind date. That was truly the only time I spoke to John Moxley ever was those 16 minutes we have on Hey. And it's just, I don't know, if you're ever, the crew does a great job in making me feel like I'm just alone with the guest.
They do.
And it's so uncomfortable.
So, speaking of feeling alone and uncomfortable, do you think that comedy performances have like advantage in wrestling because they have the better understanding of timing and audience reaction?
Yes. I've ranted about this before. I think a lot of wrestling is rooted in comedy. I think the physical timing is. I don't see a gigantic difference between a wrestling match and the Three Stooges, other than, obviously there's a comedic effect for one, but also how different is a pop from a laugh? Not that different. It's sort of this involuntary reaction of being, you're immersed in something and there's tension and there's a payoff and there's characters you're invested in. And, tragedy is if I fall down, comedy is if somebody else falls down. So it's not hard to see, how that's wrestling for some people.
Yeah.
Cool. When you think about, again, I want to...
You got the pontificating pose going on. Go ahead.
Right. Well, mainly because, so what I ended up doing here in the last 5 minutes was I pulled up your cage match, right? And
wait. Go ahead.
Now, here's what I find fun here, is that, over time, the 3 years I've been in AEW, I've always found that, it always surprises me when I find you having a conversation about, or we're talking about somebody and you're like, oh yeah, I wrestled that person. And I go look it up and I'm like, oh yeah, he sure did.
Yes.
And do you ever look back, especially when you see some of where a lot of people ended up, do you ever look back and not just marvel at some of the people you've gotten to share a ring with, but some of the people you've beaten?
Mm-hmm. Now, first of all, let me say this. I am higher rated than you thought I was going to be, right?
I've seen your cage match before, because we've had this conversation before, but way higher rated than I thought. But
right?
Yeah,
and I think that's because I have so few people rating me.
You have 51. You have 51 votes.
Okay,
and it's like,
wow.
It is funny to think, and I don't talk about it on Hey, because I'm like, this is not that necessary. The fact that I wrestled Swerve in the middle of some sort of halfway house condo thing in West Virginia. And that oh yeah, I looked it up a while ago. Someone has a clip of it and there's just a ring and a bunch of brick walls. And it's just odd, but I am very,
and you won 10-minute match.
Former world champion.
Not going to hold it over anyone. Who else have I beaten? Look at me with all the idiocy that you know about me. I wrestled Rey Mysterio once.
Did you beat him?
Let's see.
I don't think so.
Let's see. You beat Danny Garcia.
Ooh.
Yes.
So, like you've got one over on the Death Riders. Look at you.
Mm-hmm. I ran through everybody. Go ahead. What else are you finding there?
Like I said, it's just fun. It's a fun little who's who of
Bobby
various people.
Lashley.
You've beaten Bobby
I wrestled
Lashley.
a couple times. No, I have not beaten Bobby Lashley, but I've wrestled him a couple times. Dalton Castle, I wrestled a bunch.
Yeah.
Josh Alexander, I wrestled a bunch, obviously.
Canadians.
Yes. And then...
Yeah, here you are with Billy Gunn?
What?
Yes. I will say, here's a wonderful Billy Gunn quote. I wrestled him, and he came to the back, and he said, "That's how this business used to be before you young kids fucked it all up."
That is the most Billy Gunn thing I've heard in a long time.
Yes. I will say, I'm so proud and happy to see people like Dalton Castle and people like Daniel Garcia, who I think started, I was doing indie shows and he was there as a fan, which makes me feel 90. It's disgusting to me. I just think it's fantastic. And Josh Alexander, who I would say, generally speaking, we started together. So he shared a lot of the same frustration of being in the same area and feeling like it's just constantly dead ends. I will also say Renee, and I'm making her sound older, but she's not. She was like a generation before me in Toronto, like the comedy scene, the TV scene. But it is so nice to have someone there who can get like obscure Canadian references.
That's the best.
Yeah, it's a really nice, her and Cope, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like, yes, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so that's, what else are you finding, Will?
Sorry, I'm continuing to scroll, and there's Ethan Page here, and
my 3-match trilogy against the Bunny.
Yeah,
is that what you want to talk about? The Blade, I worked a bunch. I loved wrestling him a lot. It's really some really, really good people. But they had to put up with me singing Ethel Merman, and, it's a hard life for these people.
It is a hard life, but you've somehow turned it into a lot of success, if you could say that. You had an incredible... I mean,
only in relation to the lack of success.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you've done...
That's all success. Hold on. That's all success is that it's always in relation to the lack of success. Because at the end of the day, obviously somebody could be at the very top, but, they're not doing as well currently as their best. And they would say, well, I'm not having a whole lot of success. And like at the end of the day, you are successful, RJ City. Take the pat on the back.
Thank you. I will. I'll do my best.
You did a really, really cool thing for a lot of people for a very long time, and we're sad to see it go, but we're excited to see whatever it is you end up doing next.
Okay, don't make it sound like the MDA telethon.
Maybe you'll do a telethon.
Many people. Yes.
Yes, but we do know that you've got this awesome comedy show coming up in Chicago. For those of you who have tickets, you're in for an absolute treat. It's going to be awesome. Check it out. And I know you guys will definitely be doing it again. If this is your 4th time through Chicago, all signs point to it'll happen again. Every time you guys do it, I always hear incredible things. I see clips, and I'm just like, I regret saying no to the request, and then the request comes, and then I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's just, I'm looking forward to this cycle over and over and over again.
It's a long way to go to say that you're busy.
It
was a real long compliment to really ultimately get to how busy you are.
Right. Well, I mean, to be fair, I have a heels event I'm running that night, and I'm actually running it earlier because so many of the girls are so excited to go to your show.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
So I'm the earliest show. You're the main event. So there you go.
Well, we have to balance it out somehow. You're doing a good thing. I'm doing, debauched humor.
Yeah.
And ideally, maybe Marina will juggle with her feet or something.
She probably will.
I am excited to see it no matter what. RJ City, thank you for being here. You can follow him on Instagram at RJ City. And again, if you can somehow get your hands on some tickets, you definitely want to be there in Chicago at the Lincoln Lodge. That is Friday, December 26th. Otherwise, folks, AEW Unrestricted is sponsored in part by Upper Deck. The 2025 AEW SP Game Used set is now available. It is the first ever AEW released packed with autographs and tech cards and real match-used relics pulled straight from the ring, including championship gear, event banners, and even a one-of-one fork from All in Texas. Grab your box at local
But it's
hobby
from
shops.
the catering, though, so...
Well, that's where Hangman stole it from, because it's been in a food now. It's special.
Sorry, Will, finish the plug. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. Grab your box at local hobby shops and hit upperdeck.com to find a store near you. You can listen to and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted, at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and check out video episodes on our YouTube channel so you can see all these beautiful faces here. This is at AEW Unrestricted. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you're not an AEW insider, sign up today. Get early access to ticket pre-sales, special merchandise offers, and more straight to your inbox. Sign up today at AEWTix.com. And don't forget that AEW Dynamite is on TBS Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and streaming on HBO Max, and AEW Collision live every Saturday on TNT and also streaming on HBO Max. ROH streams every Thursday on Honor Club. That's Aubrey Edwards. I'm Will Washington. That was RJ City. This is AEW Unrestricted. We'll see you next time. Have a great day. Peace.